You just did something absolutely spectacular. You hit play on TechVibe Pittsburgh to get your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. I'm your host, Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council, and I've been telling the stories across Pittsburgh's tech industry for nearly 30 years. It's been just that long. Are you struggling to hire top tech talent or wondering if your job descriptions are scaring away great candidates? Well, in today's hiring climate, getting the right engineers, developers, or data pros isn't just about posting a job. It's about knowing where to look, how to engage, and how to balance culture fit with new skills. This episode of TechVibe welcomes Anthony Bucci and Blake Babcock from BV Staffing to explore how they help tech companies across Pittsburgh and even Cleveland navigate the return to office debates, hybrid work, and the talent crunch while keeping the human touch in recruiting. You're going to learn insider tips on how to widen your candidate pool without lowering your standards, discover how AI tools can speed up recruiting without losing the human element, and get practical advice on when and how to partner with a staffing firm to save time and money on hiring. So keep on listening to hear actionable insights from Anthony and Blake about finding, hiring, and retaining the tech talent your business needs to grow. Let's welcome them to the show right now. So Anthony and Blake, so glad to have you guys here at the Huntington Bank Studios. I always say this, I get to have the best conversations right here because I'm talking to the folks that are like in the trenches, doing the things they do to make Pittsburgh's tech ecosystem just tick. And when I think about what makes it tick, it's the people. You guys find the people. I'm just so curious to learn about how BV staffing works. And as I know, because there's a lot of staffing companies out there, but everyone's got their different way of doing it and finding success, which I think is fantastic because our companies need talent and you guys are there to do it. So thanks for being here today. Before we jump into it, I always love introductions and just to make sure our listeners know who's who and what's what. Anthony, let's start with you. Give us the insight. Who is Anthony?
Sure. I'm Anthony Bucci. I'm one of the founders of BV Staffing.
Okay.
We started our company 20 plus years ago, right after 9/11. My business partner and I, we were corporate recruiters at Forest Systems. Our niche is working with mostly small, mid-sized tech companies. That's our space. That's the kind of people we work with, and that's the talent we look for.
And that's Pittsburgh.
That's Pittsburgh.
In so many ways, without a doubt. Blake, your role here at the BV Staffing and what you do and how you do it.
I'm the VP of Client Engagement, and I'm in Cleveland. And our company has been around for 51 years now.
Yeah.
And wanted to grow geographically and do that by acquisition. And had met Scott and Anthony, and they had a great story to share. And they had a niche in that IT tech space that we did not have. And after getting to know them, the companies that they've helped, which they've got a ton of great success stories, it was a perfect fit for us.
I love that, coming together like that. And then it's expanding the geographic area too. Here's one thing I think is really interesting that I wish people would do more of, and it's tough because of our football rivalries and things like that. It's like,
is it okay? I'll speak from the Cleveland side. Is it a rivalry? I mean,
I know it is. People have been body slammed at games and stuff like that, but we won't even go. But
Hit with helmets.
But for me, the whole idea is, I really look at this as not just Pittsburgh, not just Cleveland. I feel like our whole regions rise together. They really do. And I wish we could connect more in so many ways, but it's only 2 hours. And I just feel like there could be so much more if we could get these areas going together. Now I feel like there's a little more of a chance of that because with the Cleveland book of business and what you have going on there, merging in with what's going on with Pittsburgh, I just feel like it creates another connection point somewhere here. So I'm trying to be optimistic.
And I love Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh and Cleveland are very similar.
You know, black and gold here in the...
Hey, I grew up in Finley.
Okay.
So the hometown of Big Bend.
There you go.
I've got that connection too.
Perfect.
And my wife was born and raised here in Pittsburgh. So a lot of ties.
You're in, dude. Don't worry about it. Well, it's not. That's awesome. But that's a great story. It's really, for anyone listening out there, I mean, I think everyone kind of understands like how a staffing firm works. But give us how BV works. I know everyone, like I said before, has their different way of working this business because it's a very methodical, there's like an art to it in so many ways. It's delicate and people go about it in different ways. How does BV go about it?
Jordan, number one, right? We have to go out and find the business. We got to find companies that need help. We don't typically you can market candidates, but we go find the business. We find someone that's struggling, looking for top engineers, and we go out and search. And how do we search? A million ways. Relationships. You got the tools out there, those job boards, those LinkedIn. But a lot of times it's just phone calls. It's just, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? And you build relationships, you find people, you tell them about the opportunities. Hopefully you're making a match, right? My job is to make both parties happy. I want the client to be excited, and I want the candidate to be excited.
Nothing wrong with that, because that's what you need at the end of the day. I mean, seriously.
You want to make everyone happy, and that's how it works.
Make everybody happy. Absolutely.
And it's a challenge, but it can be done.
And what I love about is the length that you've been doing this for. I mean, I think back to 2001. I mean, you've literally gone through an entire generation of tech here in Pittsburgh. So you really understand how this market works. So doing it this long, you know who's who and what's what.
Absolutely.
You know where all the bodies are buried.
Good success stories along the way.
Yeah, and I just love the four system roots as well too, because that brings back tremendous memories.
Four was one of the biggest success stories in Pittsburgh, and they sold for $4.5 billion in cash.
Yep, I remember that.
We're still working, but a lot of people.
Exactly. There's other folks that don't have to work as much as they would necessarily need to. Very, very cool. So let's talk about some trends that are going on right now, and I think something you're addressing every day within what BV Staffing does. And we've been seeing this a lot with all our members here at the Tech Council, is this balancing of return to office. I can't believe we're actually talking about this, because to me, in my mind, it's been settled. Like, I'm going to go back to the office because I like being around people. I love being at home, but I like being in the office better most of the time when I want to get my job done. But what are you seeing out there? Because I mean, this is a real sticking point when it comes to attraction and retention of your staff.
Yeah. So the push is get into the office. We're moving in that direction. Yeah. After COVID, everyone was remote.
Right.
I think people loved it. But little by little, clients are slowly want people to come back in the office.
100%.
I do a lot of work in engineering.
Yeah.
A lot of the engineers still like to be remote. But again, little by little, it's moving in that direction. So there's still hybrid. There's still a lot of candidates that want only remote. And this still exists. But the trend is going to slowly push people back into the office.
So here's what's interesting. I'm thinking, Blake, you might have some insight in this as well, too. So as you look towards folks that just want to be remote, that then widens your circle where you can recruit from, obviously, then. So you can start building your connections outside of the immediate area for these local positions.
Yeah, and we're constantly talking with clients about talent pools. So if they're saying, hey, this is 5 days a week on site, we're looking at a 30, 40-mile radius just to start there. How many people that match this job requisition are within that parameter?
Okay.
If you say, hey, we're going to do 2 days a week on site and 3 remote, well, as a candidate, I might be willing to drive 30, 45 minutes, 2-3 days a week, but 5, that starts to push the envelope on that. And again, to Anthony's point, it depends on the role, because there's a lot of people that say, no matter what, I'm staying 100% remote.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously a contingent of people that are itching to get back to the office. I think it just needs to be very thoughtful 100%. And look at what the competitors are doing. Because if you've got a competitor down the road and they're giving more flexible options, that could create an issue for you. But it's a moving target and will continue to be for the next couple of years.
Absolutely. So if you're looking out there, you got to make sure you can maybe offer a combination if you really want to tap into the full talent pool that's out there. So you could be really limiting yourself. What are some of the concerns of not having someone in all of the time? I know there's a lot about the face-to-face time, but as you mentioned before, Anthony, that you get a lot of engineers that just want to work at home. And I think a lot of those jobs could probably be worked in isolation, for lack of a better term, because you're just got a certain set of tasks in front of you that you got to do and to build stuff. What are there concerns outside? We need you here to iterate, to be part of the team, like a morale thing,
I think there are a lot of companies that want you to be there. Culture is important, right? I did a lot of work with Duolingo back in the day. Okay. Great guys. Yeah. And that was tough for them whenever they had to go remote. They built such a great culture. It was a great group of people. They liked working with each other. So that was tough when you had to go remote. So number one, I think it's just the culture. But number two, can we really ever know exactly what you're doing all day? I think people are worried. Is everything getting done? I can't see you all the time. And so I think there are a lot of clients that
be a level of trust to a certain, because I mean, you're hiring someone that you really have only seen virtually. And you're like, are you really going to?
So I think that's on the bigger mind.
Well, we've all heard this crazy stories. I don't know how much this is true or still happening of folks that were actually like hustling 2 gigs because they're like, they're like, I can handle this in 5 hours a
Absolutely.
day. So I've got time.
You got 2 jobs.
And you want kind of someone 100% dedicated to you because you think, you're my employee, not
absolutely
2 people's employee. It's so weird the way that where things have become, but I guess, hey, why not? That piece is interesting. I love the fact that you were like working with Duolingo back in the day. Oh my goodness, man. Like that shows your roots. I think about them now, and do they even need someone to help find talent? It's like, aren't they like overrun with resumes at this point?
So I met
and
Duolingo.
they just say no to everybody.
I met Duolingo when they had about 20-ish people over in Shady Side of Long Beach. Great people. Lee Severn, outstanding.
Yeah.
And you're right. There's smart people, and then there's smart people. The bar was very high at Duolingo.
Yeah.
But just helped them grow over the years, worked on site there for a year or so. And
really?
They just continue to grow. I think they're close to 1,500 people or so now. But they built a whole internal recruiting team. So they have their own IT staff.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure they do a lot of resumes, but talent's still hard to find, no matter where you go. Everyone has a good story. So
absolutely.
But great success story, great people, great environment.
Absolutely. I'm just curious, this might be an aside or not, but like, I'd love to know your thoughts on when they kind of came out with their AI first policy, that they're more interested in AI is driving the way they are as opposed to the people. It's just really weird. It was like, yeah, we understand that. But at the same time, it's like, what does that mean?
I think they get technology, right? So they understand where it's going and what you're going to have to do with it. And people are going to have to embrace it. And I think I read an article that they spend a couple hours every week talking about technology. So if anyone understands technology,
believe me,
Duolingo understands
believe me, if I'm going to talk to the Louise Vaughn, believe me, he knows.
He does.
He and Severn are working at a whole different level than us mere mortals.
That's true.
Down here in the Huntington Bank studio. I trust you guys implicitly. My goodness. So let's think about if someone's listening to this right now. And this is something where I've been hanging out with the Tech Council for a long time. I've talked to so many great, cool people building really cool companies. And sometimes they're very smart with their business, but they're very stupid when it comes to the basic HR things and the stuff that you need. That's not just the technology of it. And the idea of first, maybe give me a few tips if you're going to try to hire yourself. Sometimes you're just starting out, you need to get a few people. Okay, what can you do that can be helpful? But I always say there's a point where you need to be V-staffing in order to be successful at this, and when to bring them in, and why you can't be afraid of the quote. I'm putting giant quotation marks as I say this, cost, because everyone gets freaked out. Oh, that's money. You're not looking at the whole picture, Mr. Smart Man. Who does all the algorithms? This is an algorithm of what it means if you hire the wrong person and how much money that will cost you, as opposed to paying money up front. That gives you a better bet of having a really good fit that's going to help boost your business and scale it and grow it. So maybe start with some tips if you're going to start by yourself, and then let's talk about why at some point it becomes critical.
I'm going to start by myself. Sure, I'm going to probably put some postings out there a little bit just to see what comes of it. If I'm running a company, what else can I do? I'm going to put a couple ads in the paper and different things, and maybe try some social media. The problem you get is you get a lot of unmatches, a lot of garbage comes in.
But you initially might be excited. You're like, oh, look at all this that I got. And it's just...
But it's time consuming. Now I got to spend time going through all these candidates.
Well, it's just that too.
Screen these people. And my job is probably better suited doing the things that I'm good at.
Yeah.
So that's why I think to myself, why am I spending all this time?
Totally.
I'm better at these. Let me pay someone who's really good at this. And yes, you pay a little money, but in the grand scheme of things, you're hiring someone that's really good at what they're doing. It's saving you time. It's saving you money.
Yeah. No, I mean, I almost look at it like you've got a pipe that's leaking like crazy and you think you can fix it, and most likely could, but if you want to make sure it's fixed right, it's worth the money.
Well, and even taking a step back, defining what it is that makes a good fit for that role. What are you looking for? Because one situation that we run into, and I'm sure a lot of companies do, is you start interviewing candidates, and then we come to find out 2 internal people at the company have a different idea of what the ideal candidate looks like.
Interesting.
So one person in the company that wants candidate A and another person that really wants candidate B. That should have been determined prior to going to market with this job opportunity.
Nice.
And then I always tell clients, we're comparing these candidates against what you told us was the ideal profile, not against someone else. Because we'll run into that where they'll interview, we'll send a candidate. This person looks perfect. They interview them. They're amazing. We want to compare them to someone else. Why are we comparing them to someone else? We're comparing them to what you outlined as the ideal fit for this role. And you said it was them. And that's a tricky situation because you can then start to waste some time looking for someone else to compare them to.
It's so tough. I don't know. Hiring is just so scary because, I mean, we don't hire tons of people at Tech Council, but when we do, we really want to make sure that we're talking to folks that like, man, you're going to get into this place because that cultural fit is just so important for success and everything like that. So you can get people with different opinions, and so you need to kind of know what the actual measure that we're going to be looking for on this. Which, wow, that makes just so much sense.
And it is. You're right. It's scary, and I think we've all made mistakes in hiring. We've all hired that person we thought was perfect, and be it a week, a month, 90 days down the road, you're like, shoot.
Well,
here's what we missed.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, I mean, you might have some data on this, or just even anecdotally, because this is your bread and butter, so this is what you do. But I'm curious, what is the typical cost of not making the right hire for, say, like a mid-level IT position? Say you're paying someone $150 a year for a certain level of programming, and they're going to be like one of 3 people on a team. So they're without that person being there, you're going to be down a serious resource. If it takes a couple months to hire them, by the time they're up and running, blah, blah, but if it doesn't work out, like that's real cash to a business.
Here are just some simple things to look at, because this can be different based on the size of the company, what have you. So a role is vacant, that job's not getting done. So there's a cost to that job not getting done. Well, you might have, 1 or 2 other people on the team covering that work.
What does that mean to them?
What does that mean to them?
Yeah.
Then you have, your job postings, whether you're boosting things on LinkedIn, Indeed, what have you. You have your internal recruiter's time or the hiring manager's time being spent identifying a new candidate, the onboarding, the training. They don't work out and everything starts all over.
So tell me more about what it means if you are actually going to engage with a third party like BV Staffing or anyone out there. I just feel like there's got to be some good things to know before kind of going out there and what to expect, I guess, for lack of a better term.
100%. The first is it's a commoditized industry. And so there are a lot of us out there.
I was going to say, I mean, that's a thing.
No shortage of us. So I think, having a good understanding of what you're going to value in a partner. And, first and foremost for us is communication and transparency. So are you getting communication and transparency from those firms that you're working with? And then data. Are you holding them to any sort of metrics? Are they holding themselves to any sort of metrics?
Interesting. What would be some metrics, like number of days before, number of resumes? Like
time to fill is one of the first ones. People ask that a lot. If we give you this role, when is someone going to start? That's the first question they want to know.
They want someone now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it makes sense.
So metrics like that, and just being a partner with them.
Totally.
We don't want to work in a situation where we're a quote unquote vendor, where it's here's this job opening, start sending us resumes. We want to understand your company. We want to understand the culture.
I want to see an exchange of Christmas cards. And I hope they often refer to you as the 6th stone of their organization, something like that.
Exactly. And, Anthony spoke to it. He's sat on site at a lot of the clients that we worked with here.
You were embedded at Duolingo for a year and a half because you were that crucial to them getting the talent that they needed. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's a partnership where they're going to let you in the doors.
Exactly.
And come hang out and give you access like that. That's a partnership. A lot of times we see companies that just don't really understand our world, and they view it as a vendor. Here's the job description, start sending us resumes. You're going to get a lot further, a lot faster if it's a partnership.
I love that, man. This is really cool stuff. I think this is very actionable for our listeners out there to give them these steps to think about when they need to engage you, what to expect, how to go into that. Okay, I hate doing this, but don't kill me for doing it, because I think we're all kind of tired of talking about AI, but it's the thing, and it's so helpful. And the idea that it's definitely transforming your industry. It's creating efficiency so you can be more effective at what you do. I'm just curious, what are you guys using in order to make yourselves faster, better, more accurate, all the good stuff?
That's the tough part, because it is very noisy. And people are getting sick of talking about it, but there's people that still love to talk about it.
Yeah, and I do too, but it's been a day.
We've invested a significant amount of money just to make us more efficient.
Definitely.
I am of the mindset that you are never going to lose or want to lose the human element
No.
in our business whatsoever.
Dude, it's people, for crying out loud. You lose the people side of it, come on, but you can become so much more efficient as a person because of it. So yeah.
So a lot of the AI that we have invested in have been related to search and match. So if we have a new job opportunity, we can look within our database much quicker to identify candidates that we've already got living in our system that match this job requirement. The other part that we've invested heavily in is just the upfront identification of qualified and interested candidates.
Okay.
So we do have an AI agent that when you apply to one of our job postings, you get a text. Then that leads to a phone call with that AI agent just to see who's qualified and interested. Because, Anthony talked about it a little bit earlier. Yeah. Some of these companies, you get so many people applying. The time it takes for a recruiter, be it your internal one or even us, to go through all of those applications to say, who do I want to reach out to? And then you play the game of tag with calling a candidate.
Oh, yeah.
They don't answer because they're working. They call you back. You're on another phone string.
Exactly.
But this AI agent can talk to 100 people at one time.
Yeah, it can put a call out to 100 people at the same time.
You can talk to people at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
And the job is not done there. That is just helping us identify who's qualified and interested, and then that's when our human element comes in.
Exactly. Well, that allows you to gather the best targets very quickly. So when they say, how fast can you hire this? You can now probably do it X% faster, which is...
Well, and the other part of it, so that time being taken away from our recruiters on the candidates that have applied, we're also proactively sourcing people on LinkedIn and Indeed.
Ooh, tell me about that a little bit more. Okay, this is getting super interesting now. I like this.
The beauty in what we do, and internal recruiters do this as well if they have the capabilities, but if we're talking about a very specific software engineer, the odds of that individual, the perfect candidate applying to our job posting, your job posting, what are the odds of that happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Versus us creating the ideal profile and saying, where is this person working right now?
Oh, cool.
We're going to go find them and we're going to sell them on this job opportunity that you have, because the options are endless for them. For Anthony, and I've listened to Anthony on the phone so much. I love listening to him talk about the jobs that he's working on, because I want the job.
But they have a question. Can I apply for that, please?
Yeah. But that's you have to go find the people too. You can't just rely on what's coming inbound to you.
Love it. That's some smart use of the technology, man.
And that game has changed significantly. I mean, think about when you started BV Staffing. LinkedIn was
LinkedIn didn't exist.
It wasn't a thing back then.
Your contacts and phone calls. Now, at least, LinkedIn's a great tool. You still got to get on the phone, but
of course,
you reach out, you network with people as much as you can. You create a little story, you get people excited, and
100%. I love it. I love it. Something I wanted to ask you guys about. I'm just curious about this. This is something I've seen to be a problem. Maybe this is something that maybe someone can learn from when they're out there hiring. If you notice that when people are looking to fill a certain position, they get a little too specific about it. It's this person must have 5 years this, 5 years this, and it's cool. But there could be a lot of people out there that can maybe fill that position that don't quite have those skills to maybe open your mind around it a little bit. Because I think sometimes I feel like we've got a lot of people that are really great at being learners and they already have some aptitude. So if you spend a little time with them, you might be able to get them up to speed and have someone that could continue to grow as that position evolves. I don't know. Is that
absolutely
a thing?
Every client wants everything. They want everything. So your job descriptions, you're right. It has every skill set under the sun.
Yeah. And
you got to find out as a recruiter, what do they really need? What's really important? And then let's get as close as we can. We try to get as close as we can. There's never a perfect fit because there's a lot of other things that take. But so you're right. As you have a relationship with the client, you let them know, and we're going to get as close as we can.
I love that.
This person's great aptitude to learn, go-getter, self-starter.
I wanted to wring people's necks a few times because I've had them complain to me like, there's just no one. I was like, but have you considered just letting loose of your standard just a little bit?
And that's part of the relationship.
Yeah, as you build the trust, you've done this, especially as you've done many engagements with the customer, you can roll back and then because the trust is there, so you can start saying, I know you want 5 years, but let's just trust me on this. We can get someone that maybe has 3.
And we do that all the time.
Yeah, okay. That's good to know, because sometimes I'm like, dude, like really? You're making your circle smaller and smaller, so don't complain that there's not enough talent here. Interesting. What else are you guys thinking about this day and age when it comes to what's impacting your industry? Are you seeing any headwinds out there? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, there's always something blowing that's giving people problems, but it's also giving someone else a boost. Like it's kind of crazy out there.
It's been a goofy market over this last year and a half on both sides.
Very tricky.
Clients are being a little pickier. They're being a little choosier.
Talk to me about that pickiness.
But candidates sometimes aren't. You know, they're hanging on to their jobs a little bit too. They're not sure what's going on, so it just makes the whole process a little harder.
Interesting. So
Economy, tariffs, return to work. I mean, there's just a lot of uncertainty.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So it has us all thinking in different ways, and it's, how do we make ends meet in the meantime?
And we had a candidate recently that had been with his current company for 12 years. We had an amazing opportunity, paying him a lot more money. And at the end of the day, I'm just so scared that I'm going to be the last one in, first one out if something happens to this other company. This is the devil I know. And that's a very valid feeling to have.
Yeah.
And, you know, you appreciate that loyalty and thoughtfulness from the candidate's perspective, but it also drives us nuts. This is we've been working with.
This could work. I swear to God, you won't be the first one fired. But you never know. No, what a great conversation. I have learned so much today. There's some really good key takeaways here that I feel like we can all kind of go with when it comes to this. First off, I'm excited about your use of AI and able to locate talent faster and to help narrow in with the employers. I think that's just an amazing way, but keep the human as part of it. As our big take at the Tech Council when it comes to all things AI is it enhances the human being, doesn't take them away 100%, which I think is just so important. And then, just all your work around the overall processes and how you engage with the client, I think is so important. So I walk away and I'm like, I have learned something today, guys. This is very, very cool, very helpful.
It's a lot of therapy.
I was going to say, you guys might have a certain couch where people come, they lay down on and talk about these 5-year requirements. You're like, you might want to rethink this.
And the interview
for more
process.
A life learner and all that kind of good stuff. And maybe you'll widen your circles and find some happiness and employees at the same time. Very cool stuff. Got to have you guys back because we would love to. Obviously, the market's always changing. We'd love to know what you're seeing out there. So really appreciate
we love to come back,
stopping by and telling me all about BV staffing. So we have links, of course. Yeah, we have links, of course, to your website and stuff like that in the description. I encourage people to check it out and learn more about it. And if you're looking to hire, I'd say at least give you guys a call so you can talk. I know you're going to talk to anybody about at least what's going on out there. So I always say never be afraid to contact one of our council members. They're here to help. Simple as that. Hey, in case you forgot, this is Jonathan Kirsting, and if you want to continue your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem, keep hanging out with us here on TechVibe. I will see you on the next one.